Tonight on KVAL News at 11, the hunt for a suspected cop killer may be over, but police say they still haven't found a body. We'll bring you the up-to-the-minute developments as it comes. And a local politician is accused of driving under the influence. Find out who was arrested for drinking and driving. Plus, a local news station reports a zombie attack causing viewers to panic. All these stories and much more right now on KVAL News at 11.
First, fair, accurate from our newsrooms in Eugene, Roseburg, and Coos Bay. KVAL News starts now.
Guys down!
Good evening, I'm Yasmin Dar, and thanks for joining us tonight. That was a CBS exclusive at a gunfire between police and who they believe was Chris Dorner. Teresa Garcia reports live from Big Bear, California with the latest details.
It has been an overwhelmingly stressful day for law enforcement, who now have several hours overnight, if not possibly days, to process all of that evidence inside the scene of the shootout. And investigators say they still have to confirm the body they believe is inside that cabin is indeed that of the suspect, 33-year-old Christopher Dorner. Now, CBS law enforcement sources are indicating there is a body inside that cabin that burned for at least 2 hours. Sources tell CBS News they believe Christopher Dorner's body is inside a burned-out cabin near Big Bear, California. But Los Angeles police say it's still too hot to go inside to confirm his death. The cabin went up in flames during the standoff with law enforcement. Police swarmed the area and cornered Dorner, who had apparently been hiding out in the mountains. When they arrived, the bullets started flying. CBS reporter Carter Evans was near the scene and recorded the gun battle on his cell phone.
I hear some screaming.
2 deputies were shot in the exchange. One of them died. Officers were responding to a report of a man matching Dorner's description, driving a stolen vehicle in the mountains.
He crashed the car and then took off into the forest.
Officers had focused their search for Dorner in Big Bear after they found his burned-out truck last week. The former LAPD officer had been on the run since he allegedly shot and killed 3 people, including a police officer. Authorities plan to enter that burned-out cabin once it has cooled down enough and is considered safe to go inside. Los Angeles police officials are telling us there is a lot of live ammunition inside, so those investigators do need to proceed cautiously. Live here near Big Bear, Teresa Garcia. Now back to you.
All right, thank you, Teresa. Well, we have breaking news. A woman is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries after she was hit by a pickup truck near Valley River Center. Eugene police say 26-year-old Chanel Marie Presley hit a woman in her mid-20s on the Washington Jefferson Street Bridge, where she was trying to cross around 5:45 tonight. Traffic is still delayed as crews work to open lanes. President Obama laid out the agenda for his second term in office in his 4th State of the Union address tonight. The president focused on how he plans to revitalize the economy and find work for 12.3 million unemployed Americans.
Broad-based economic growth requires a balanced approach to deficit reduction, with spending cuts and revenue, and with everybody doing their fair share.
On foreign policy, the president announced a major troop withdrawal from Afghanistan, 34,000 by this time next year. On immigration reform, he pushed for a path to citizenship for the 11 million illegal immigrants currently in the U.S. And on gun control, he made it clear he wants action. Governor Kit Sauber showed his gratitude for having Oregon recognized for how it's dealing with rising health care costs, education, and the economy. The governor received an invite yesterday, but President Obama did not mention him during his speech. And by the way, he did not show up with his classic denim look. He wore a suit. We have a crime alert. A veteran Springfield City Councilor is in trouble. David Ralston is facing a drunk driving charge after police arrested him early Sunday. KVAL's Tom Adams reports on the case that's keeping police and the accused quiet.
The
four-term councilman was picked up and arrested after a Springfield officer spotted Ralston's car traveling slowly as he left the Whiskey River Ranch bar. Police confirmed the officer followed Ralston to a 42nd and Main gas station.
Well, what I can say is that the tests were given, or that a DUI investigation was done that resulted in the arrest of this individual.
Ubenhofer says he cannot reveal statements Ralston made to the officer or his blood alcohol level. Now, Ralston indicates in print reports that he will fight the charges.
We've tried to get the other side of the story, and initially Councilman Ralston agreed to talk to KVAL News from his house here in Springfield. But about 10 to 15 minutes after we arranged this, he called me back to say upon the advice of his attorney, he's not going to give a statement.
Hey, hi, Councilman Tom Adams here from KVAL. I also invited a written response from Ralston, but so far, nothing.
The councilman's alleging entrapment by the police on what happened on Sunday. Your response?
Well, in this country, everybody has a right to a trial, and there's a lot of things that people can say that they believe would be a defense in cases of this nature.
Ubenhofer says the department's only policy is strict enforcement of DUI laws, no matter who's behind the wheel.
We do everything that we can do legally to ensure that as many people are held responsible for drinking and driving.
In Springfield, Tom Adams, KVAL News.
The city prosecutor says Ralston's charges will be processed in Lane County Circuit Court instead of Springfield City Court because Ralston is a city councilman. Well, KVAL News strives for fair and accurate coverage, so let us know if we didn't get the whole story. Call us or send us a message through email, Facebook, or Twitter. Well, if you text or talk while driving, you may be in for a major fine. The Senate Judiciary Committee approved a bill proposed today by Senate President Peter Courtney. If the new bill becomes law, drivers who text or talk on their cell phones while driving could pay up to $1,000. The bill is said to make drivers take the existing law more seriously.
Having a fine just in place is enough to force people to at least think twice before they text.
I mean, I've talked on my cell phone, and texting completely takes your eyes off the road. You know, there's no way you can do it. And it seems like a lot of money, but, you know, it's probably fair.
While nothing is definite yet, many we spoke to say the fine may just be big enough to actually put a stop to texting or talking while driving. The House Committee is also looking at a similar bill, but the price for that one is proposed at $2,000 fine. A Eugene man who was stabbed and held up at gunpoint is speaking out about the terrifying experience. Aaron Duchateau says he was hit over the head, so he tried to fight back against two men trying to rob him. The attempted robbery occurred near 13th and Olive downtown. Aaron says he tackled one man to the ground while the other man punched him several times. Then he started yelling at them.
Kind of told him, like, come on, like, bring it on kind of thing, which I think psychologically I thought that would be intimidating. I don't know if that was the case or not, but they ended up, when I said that, they actually ran away from me.
Well, after the fight, Aaron fell to the ground and couldn't breathe. Later, doctors told him he had a punctured lung from the stab wound. Amazingly, Aaron says downtown does not make him feel unsafe. We have a KVAL follow-up. Voters will decide on a new public tax safety tax in May. County commissioners today decided to put the property tax measure on the ballot, and if voters say yes to the tax, it would be a 55-cent per $1,000 of assessed property value. Well, the money raised from the tax would be used to open 255 jail beds. And Eugene City councilors have dropped a plan to send a tax to voters. Instead, they want you to decide on whether to pay a monthly fee. The plan is to charge a $10 a month fee for every home or apartment and $30 a month for businesses. Councilors have to approve the plan. If they don't decide in tomorrow's meeting, they'll miss the deadline for the May ballot. Well, love is in the air everywhere except at one Eugene elementary school. Sophia Petinakis reports on why one principal vetoed Valentine's Day.
Instead of signing Valentines, this year students at McCormick Elementary School are signing a petition.
We got 101 signatures in the morning, and we just asked people if they didn't like the idea that Valentine's Day was canceled, and so many people wanted to sign.
Twins Natalie and Sophie Elstone rallied their peers after parents got a school-wide memo asking parents to refrain from sending holiday cards to school. Not to mention food, the memo added any unhealthy food will be returned to parents.
For years, Valentine's Day has been a day for school kids to celebrate love and friendship.
But at McCormick Elementary School, the administration is saying no way. While school principal Tasha Katsuda wasn't able to talk to us on camera, she says the administration's intentions are good, and they support the inclusion of every one of their students. And the principles of Valentine's Day should be practiced every day, not just on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and it's why it's called a treat. Like, you only get it once a year.
But some McCormick parents say they don't see the harm in celebrating the holiday of love.
And I think that kids need those little celebrations. We don't need to spend a lot of time, money, or energy on them, but I think we still need to have those moments of celebrations for kids.
There's enough things that they can't do anymore. They don't need to take that away too.
The twins took their signatures to the principal, but their petition did not spark a change of heart. Sophia Petinakis, KVAL News.
The memo sent out to the parents wasn't just about Valentine's Day, but all holidays, including birthdays. Well, Roseburg and Coos Bay, your local news is coming up next. Plus, we have new information on the Pope's condition. Right now, I'm joined with Candace here in the Weather Center. And what are the conditions with their rain?
Well, it looks like we'll continue to see those spotty showers here or there, the ones that kind of make you swish the windshield wipers a few times, but that's basically it. We are going to stay mostly cloudy over the next few days, but Valentine's Day is looking pretty dry. Good chance of rain, though, does return to the forecast. I'll detail your full forecast right after the break.
Well, it's Tuesday, and that means it's time for Tasty Tuesday. Now, each week we feature a local restaurant or product, and this week, KVAL's Tasty Tonia is looking for some romance in chocolate.
Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and one of the most popular gifts is chocolate. So we thought we'd stop by Euphoria Chocolate to find out just what makes this so romantic.
With hairnets securely fastened, we headed behind the scenes.
Gotta keep it clean.
Led by Bob Burry, who may best be described as the Willy Wonka of Eugene.
Wow, look at him.
Hi. Hi. Hello.
I got into the business. I tell people to support my own habit, basically. All right. So you said you wanted a chocolate bar to chew on this afternoon? There you go.
Oh, man.
Huh?
See, now that's my kind of chocolate bar.
Yeah. So the nice thing about this bar is that you can eat it or you can use it to do your curls, you know, so you get yourself in
exercise at the same
get
time.
yourself in
Right.
shape.
You don't feel so bad about eating this.
No, not at all. Get some exercise.
A 10-pound chocolate bar sure is appealing, but the romance still hadn't hit us.
This holds 300 pounds of dark chocolate.
Now we're talking.
You can see it turning. It's got a water jacket on it, and it keeps the chocolate just exactly at the right temperature. When it's been tempered, it has to go through a whole process of cooling and reheating that allows the fat crystals and the sugar crystals to stay in suspension. And that's called tempered chocolate. And so then you can pour it into a mold and cool it, and it won't turn white.
That's the kind of attention to detail that anyone would want to get from a significant other. But it's tough to see any romance in all the technicality. The next step, however, may be the key. It's where these lovely ladies, also known as dippers, do just that, placing each item individually into a delicious vat of yum.
A lot of care that's going into each one of these pieces of chocolate.
Yeah.
And that's pretty romantic, right?
You'd have to ask them.
It's made with love. Well, if you've had a bad day, or even if you've had a good day, you know that it's a little something that maybe you shouldn't always have, but the fact that you can choose to have it means that you can choose to be happy.
Maybe it's the amount of work that goes into it. Maybe it's something chemical. Or perhaps it's simply that the receiving of a gift that tastes this good proves that whoever gave it to you must care.
Would you like to try one of our mochas?
Would I like to try one of the mochas?
What kind of question is that? Cheers. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I hope it gets better than this for both of us.
Yeah.
Are those amazing?
Oh, that's good.
Can you give us a minute or two?
Yeah.
In Eugene, Tasty Tony, KVAL News.
Oh boy, those truffles look so delicious. Well, Euphoria Chocolate has 3 locations in Eugene, on Willamette Street, Oakway Center, and on Stewart Road. We'll be right back. Continuing coverage, more details are coming out today about Pope Benedict's health and the last appearances he will make before stepping down. The Vatican disclosed for the first time this morning that Pope Benedict has a pacemaker. A spokesman says doctors secretly replaced the battery a few months ago. Passengers on a stranded cruise ship in the Gulf of Mexico are on their way home. But it's a slow-going and pretty gross process. The Carnival Triumph broke down after an engine fire on Sunday. Tugboats are pulling the stranded ship from the Gulf of Mexico to Mobile, Alabama. Some of the 3,000 passengers on board have been describing the conditions as dire, saying water and feces are all over the ship's floors. Yikes. One passenger says the crew is doing their best, but conditions are disgusting.
Smells are, I can't describe them. Our room is flooded. There's sewage, raw sewage, pretty bad. There is no air conditioning at all inside.
Well, the ship is expected to arrive in Alabama on Thursday.
Civil authorities in your area have reported that the bodies of the dead are rising from their graves and attacking the living.
And Montana television station's regular programming was interrupted by news of a zombie apocalypse. The network says hackers broke into the emergency alert system. On KRTV's website, the hackers said dead bodies are rising from their graves in several Montana counties and attacking the living.
You never know this day and age. You never know.
Such smart guys, those hackers. Well, hey, Candace is going to want to hear about this. Tom Ward here with sports, and the Heat was on in Miami tonight.
That's right. LeBron James going for history tonight against the Blazers, but Portland beat the Heat, if you recall, last month in the Rose City, plus a back-and-forth affair at the Purple Pit. South Eugene up against the powerhouse, the Churchill Lancers. Prep highlights and scores and more coming up next.
Our Pick the Kicker winner is this diver crashing the Rugby Sevens World Series game in Las Vegas. Well, the diver was supposed to land in between matches, but mistimed the jump and landed right in the middle of extra time of a game between Fiji and Samoa.
Just trying to make an appearance.
I know. Trying to be all like stealing the show. Bummer, that jump could have been epic, but instead, it was kind of annoying actually. But it does make for a good YouTube video.
That's the problem. He didn't know they were going to extra time. Yeah. So no one radioed the plane. Logistically, that's a tough thing to pull off, you got to think.
It is. I mean, what are you going to be like, tweeting the guy and be like, hey guys, just wait a second.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a walkie-talkie. I don't know. Cell phone. Who knows?
Look at that.
Right?
Why don't you create something? Well, we want to thank everyone who voted on Facebook. And remember, you can vote again tomorrow night on our KVAL Facebook page. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. We hope to see you back here again tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.
Fisher Communications.